Assassinations and Coups. Shalom, Kahalal, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakah Kadash. Tawan is to the apostles and elders at Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the hopefully elect. So, just want to touch on all these coups and assassinations that's been happening crazy for about the past week. And seemingly, these things are just happening out of nowhere. People are just uprising and trying to do coup d'etats and all this type of stuff, right? But then on top of that, you just had the Iranian president. He just got deleted in a plane crash the other day. Now you have this happening in DRC. You had the Slovakian prime minister. He just underwent an assassination attempt. Oh, remember a few months ago, earlier this year, when they actually tried to take out Putin, they actually performed a drone strike on the Kremlin. So really, when you follow the breadcrumb trail and when you find out the common denominator between all these nations or these leaders that just so happen to have a problem with what Israel is doing and what America is doing, especially NATO, the EU, there's a certain interest by certain powers that would have the motivation to go in and perform these coup d'etats, if you understand what I'm saying. You know, we got to be careful with our language on YouTube, you know, but like I said, just follow the money, follow the breadcrumb trail, and eventually you'll get down to the bottom of the source of these assassination attempts. So we'll go ahead and check this out. I got 2 articles lined up as well and some precepts, and Lord willing, this lesson is edifying.
Probably not going to make it to international news outlets, so I decided to share this information with you guys. Yesterday, a group of 40 to 50 people attempted a coup d'etat in Congo. Their mission was simple: overthrow the president of Congo, eliminate him or capture him. They sieged one of the major government buildings for several hours until the...
Now, real quick before we continue, just a quick note on the Congo, right? The Congolese president, he's been backing the president of Niger, because when you check it out, what's been happening in Niger or Niger, that's a country in Western Africa, where especially the French, they get a lot of their raw materials that they use in different electronics and things of that nature, like natural gas and all that. So the French, they just been kicked out of Niger, right? And the DRC president, he's been very outspoken and vocal in support of Niger for doing that. Also, you have a lot of Western nations that are inside of the Congo as well, and he's been making the same move to kick out these so-called Europeans, these Edomites, all right, to stop draining Africa of the natural resources, so that ultimately those African nation states can become more independent, more powerful, and also the BRICS nations as well. They're getting away from the dollar. So all of what's going on, you know, like I said, if you follow the money, then you find out who has a motive to perform these certain assassination attempts on these leaders. But Congo is a very rich nation. They produce a lot of titanium. They have diamond mines, gold, of course, many resources that the West use to forward their industries, right? So if France has been cut off from Niger, so that's going to take a big hit to the French economy, their production, and also Congo, they're kicking out the colonizers as well. So what they want to do is knock off these certain leaders that don't want to play ball with the elites and set up puppet leaders that they can control, that they can give orders to, and they'll perform as needed. All right, so this is what you're seeing happen in these nations. All right, and pretty much anyone who speaks out against the small hat or has a problem with what they're doing in Israel, you gotta go. You know what I'm saying? You can't be in office no more. You see, but that's how these devils get down. Let's continue.
Military was able to push in and capture them. So far, we have no idea what motivated these people to attack the president of Congo. But what we know is that the man or the leader of the group came from America.
You see that? The leader of the group, which this is confirmed, came from America. But this whole coup d'etat that took place, they don't understand the motive behind it. Well, there you go. And we know that these devils, they fund both sides. All right, they'll set up a faction, you know, inside your government to destabilize the government. Then once the government falls apart, you know, all you really gotta do is look at what they did to Saddam Hussein and Muammar Gaddafi. I'm trying to think of his name. Osama bin Laden. You know, all these men that were against the West and they were trying to do something positive for their people. What? They were demonized on the world stage by the Western propagandized media. You know, agents were sent in to infiltrate their governments and to destabilize industries and destabilize the political environment, so that the environment would be more conducive, more ripe for the West to come in and ultimately take these nations down. You look at the state of Libya after Muammar Gaddafi compared to what it was before. That place now is a, you know, third world nation, man. Compared to before, Libya was a paradise when Muammar Gaddafi was running things. But, you know, not to get too off topic, but when Muammar Gaddafi stood up in the UN Council and basically said that this whole UN thing is pretty much biased towards the Europeans, or the so-called Europeans, the Edomites. You know, they have all the say so, they have all the control. You know, pretty much it doesn't matter what we say, talking about the African nations, whatever the European nation states say, that's what the resolution is going to be. So he called them out on their hypocrisy, you know, called them out on extracting the resources from Africa, you know, and pretty much leaving the people there poor. You know, also talked about uniting Africa, the African nations, under a gold-backed currency. So you know that once you get to talking like that, hey, you got to go, because now you speaking against Edomite supremacy. Now you speaking against the Edomite world order. So I'm pretty sure that he already knew that that was coming. But a lot of these leaders that speak against the West, speak against America, Israel, they know that they got a target on their back. See, but you know, this is why when it comes to the Congo, the West, they're not going to put this on the mainstream media. And if they do, they're not going to give you the full narrative of what's going on. They're going to downplay it and try to make it seem like this is just something random, you know what I'm saying? But the whole time, all these things are orchestrated towards the favor of the world banking elites, which, who are the world banking elites? They're Edomites, all right? Mainly the tribe of Amalek, the small hats, all right? But the leader of this coup, he's from America. He, you know, he is Congolese, like his people are from Congo, the DRC, but he's raised in America. So more than likely, he's an agent, all right? He's an agent provocateur that was set up because, like he said, there's no motive as to why they would want to assassinate the leader of DRC. You know, this just pretty much just happened, just all of a sudden, just, oh, coup d'etat, you know what I'm saying? Just going there, guns blazing, like where, why? Who has said that they've had a problem? But like I just outlined, man, when you are doing things that are hurting the West, that are hurting Esau, when you start to get away from that Edomite power structure and that Edomite rule, you're a target every single time. All right. So this how the devil get down. And Esau knows, Revelation 12:12, that his society, his world is coming to an end. And also that he's losing grasp over these once weaker nations. You see, and also Russia, they're protecting many of these African nations as well. So that's why Niger, they were able to kick out France because Russia is backing them. And France and NATO, they don't want no smoke with Russia. They don't want no smoke with Russia, so they pretty much just had to back out. But they're gonna find a way to still get you know, they're gonna find a way to still siphon the resources out of the African nations, because that's how the devil do, you know. But yeah, man, the leader of this coup, he's from America, so you already know he's plugged in CIA, Mossad, you know, probably British intelligence, who knows. But these things are being done to destabilize. Let's continue.
He's Congolese, but he grew up in America. He brought with him his son and 40 other people. The mission was simple: capture, eliminate, or overthrow the president of Congo. They have failed and they have been captured, and we're still waiting for the outcome. This is all the information that I have right now. When I have more information, I will update you guys. Thank you. This is
Yeah, so it's not a coincidence that you have all these coups going on. Like I said, you had the Slovakian prime minister, you had the Iranian president, Congo, you know, had a assassination attempt. Now you have this now Lady Pandor. Hold on, let me see exactly what her significance is, because I know that she's in South Africa. I know that she's in South Africa, but yeah, okay, so she's a I know she's a politician, but I forget exactly what her title is, but it doesn't really matter. But you know, she's a prominent figure in South African politicians, and she's outspoken against the West. She's outspoken against America, and she actually boldly proclaimed to end Israeli apartheid. So again, speaking against the small hat is going to put a target on your back. All right, now Naledi Pandor is urging for progressive forces to push for Palestinian rights. Also today, you had 3 European nations recognize Palestinian statehood. It was Norway, I think it was Sweden, and I forget the other nation. You know, so even you have NATO and the EU that are divided. All right, if Satan be divided against Satan, how then can his kingdom stand? Yeah, so the devil, man, all these Edomites, they're divided on what they really want to do. Because hey, like here it is, you have certain NATO and EU nations saying that Palestine should be a nation, that they should be free from Israeli oppression. Then you have pretty much the majority of the NATO nations, you know, they're siding with America. They're siding with Israel. Okay, which that shows you that Esau is not even on one accord. So that's a big indication right there that Esau is on the way down, because he's divided. It says here, South Africa's Minister of International Relations and Cooperation, Naledi Pandor, has said it has never been so urgent for progressive forces around the world to come together in a collective effort to exert maximum pressure to end the genocidal campaign underway in Gaza and to end the apartheid system of Israel in the occupied territories. It says progressive forces need to push for the inalienable right of the Palestinian people's right to self-determination, which has been systematically denied since the British Mandate. You know, which, yeah, that's 100% fact. Ever since them small heads got into the land in 1948 under that Balfour Declaration, that's what she's referring to when she talks about that British Mandate, which was put in place by Lord Balfour after World War One. And ever since then, the Palestinians been catching hell by them small hats, and they just going even harder now. They just pushed up in Rafah about last week. Tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people running for their life. You know, it's really just a slaughter fest, man. And Netanyahu, he's being brought up on crimes against humanity, war crimes, and all that kind of stuff. But are they stopping? Are they putting Are they repenting and saying, you know what, we've done enough evil here, let's just leave this alone? Like the whole world is against us. You see? And all that they're doing, the small hats, they just putting a bigger target on their back, because now the whole world hates them. The whole world is against the small hat, because the truth just came out that, oh, we trying to fight terrorism and this and that. No, it ain't about fighting terrorism. You on a straight up genocidal campaign. Because if it was about terrorism, how many Hamas terrorists have you destroyed or confirmed deleted since this war has been going on? Zero. They ain't confirmed none of that, but they've been deleting civilians. They've been deleting children. They've been deleting elderly people. You see? So this thing ain't about fighting terror. As a matter of fact, the small hats, they the terrorists. They the ones that brought the terror to the land of Israel. So really, they need to be exterminated and taken out, man. But hey, everything gonna come in its time. Yahweh Shai, Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai got something coming for these devils. But yeah, they've been talking about they trying to assassinate her. Now Lady Pandora, also the Slovakian PM said he's still in serious condition after the assassination attempt. But it's not a coincidence that within 1 week, within 7 days, you've had 6 assassination attempts on prominent world leaders. And more than likely, the small hats, they're behind it. All right, because again, the whole world is against them. Everyone's speaking out against them, and they pretty much want to silence all opposition and set up their young global leaders, which go back to the WEF. Oh, speaking of the WEF, Klaus Schwab just resigned as head of the WEF, just abruptly, just all of a sudden. He's now taking a back seat. And why is that? Because they're losing the narrative. All this great reset talk and the world of the future, and you shall own nothing and be happy and all this, right? People have caught on to that now. People have caught on and said, wait a minute, now they putting 2 and 2 together. Now they connecting the dots, and they're seeing that this whole what's wrong with the world, what's wrong with America, it all goes back to the agenda of the WEF, which again, who rules the WEF? It's the small hats. All right, mainly the Rothschild, all right, the Red Shield people, all right, if y'all know what I'm saying. But yeah, they've lost the narrative. Everything is coming out. The Lord is exposing these Edomites, these top level wicked elite Edomites, man, for the devils that they are. This is why now they trying to run and tuck tail and do all this wickedness and assassinate, and because this is damage control. This is damage control, man. See, when they had the upper hand of deceiving the people and putting false narratives out there, they wasn't doing all this to the scale that they're doing now. I mean, they've always been, setting up coups and funding both sides. Like even when you look at Reagan back in the 80s with the whole Iran Contras and the Nicaragua Connect, and how they was getting the drugs out of Nicaragua and bringing it back to America, selling it and giving it to, D-boys that was on the streets, and all that, that whole thing. Like the crack boom in the 80s, the American CIA was directly behind that. And they was using that money to fund the war with the Contras in Nicaragua. This is common knowledge now. So they've always done this, man. They've always funded their interests by destabilizing governments and setting up puppet leaders and puppet factions in these certain nations to forward whatever agenda that they want to bring forth. But Robert Fico in Slovakia, he was damn near deleted. Okay, and again, all these things are coming just all of a sudden. You see, the attempted assassination shocked the small Central European nation, with many blaming the attack in part on extreme political polarization that has divided the country. And it's not surprising that he was a victim, because he's also been outspoken against the small hats and what they're doing. So all this goes back to Satan being divided, the devil being found out, You know what I'm saying? So all these whistleblowers and people that are, exposing the agenda, they're going to have to get taken out. Let's get some precepts. Isaiah 14, Isaiah 14 and 5, it says, the Lord hath broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter of the rulers. He who smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke. He that ruled the nations in anger is persecuted, and none hindereth. Who is he that smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke? That's talking about Esau Edom, because he rules over the earth. He has power over all these nations. You see, he's the one that's going around destabilizing countries and taking out leaders and pushing false propaganda and, siphoning resources, man. This is all a part of him ruling the nations in anger. This is all a part of him smiting the people with a continual stroke, because this is just nonstop. Esau been doing this all around the earth for hundreds of years. Pretty much ever since he's been in rulership, he's been doing the same exact thing. And he hasn't stopped. What shows you that he's the wicked, shows you that he's the devil. Because all this time that he's had the dominion, not one time has he actually ruled righteously and actually dealt with the nations in righteousness, man. This man is the man of sin, and his works prove that. All right. That's why it says in verse 7, when you read on, that the whole earth is at rest, because once this devil is taken down, the whole earth is going to be at rest. The nation's is not going to practice war no more once the true Israelites come back into power. But right now, all you have is war and contention and confusion and strife on the earth, because the wicked beareth rule. Proverbs 29:2. When the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. All right. So the wicked, his vibration of rulership on the earth is not profitable. It's not beneficial. This is why you have these leaders of certain nations, speaking out against the wicked regime of the West. They speaking out and condemning Netanyahu and the whole Israeli, or should I say small hat, hegemony over there in that land. Now they got to sleep with one eye open. Look, matter of fact, it brings me back to the very beginning of the scamdemic, when they first rolled out the juice. And in Haiti, the Haitian prime minister at that time, I forget his name, but he wasn't with giving his people the sauce. Like he said, listen, my people is not going to take this concoction that the West has put together. And what happened to him? He was taken out in a midnight raid. All right, which, that was clearly an inside job, because the doors were left open. Nobody saw anything. There were no, camera footage of what happened. Even the security guards that were there, they were untouched. There were no signs of forced entry into his residence. So it was an inside job. But it's all because he didn't want to play ball with the elites and their BS agenda. So this is what happens to you, man. All right. This is why now it's important to put on the whole armor of Yahweh Bashim Shah, that you can withstand the wiles of the devil. Jeremiah 50:23, because Esau, by the way of America, Babylon the Great, is the hammer of the whole earth. All right. So whichever nation pops up and they start to pop shit against America, or against the small hats, or against the EU and NATO, they're a nail. And America is the hammer that got to smash that nail back down. See, Jeremiah 50:23, it says, how is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken? How is Babylon become a desolation among the nations? I've laid a snare for thee, and thou art also taken, O Babylon, and thou wast not aware. Thou art found and also caught, because thou hast striven against the Lord Yahweh Bashim Shah. So yeah, America, Babylon the Great, is the hammer of the whole earth. You see, they just going around smashing down any nation that opposes them. You see, and as it is prophesied, Israel, the least of the flock, is drawing out these other nations, man. So now that these other nations are speaking up against the atrocities that are being done in Israel, all these nations are being now drawn together for war, man, because they're seeing what the small hats are doing, and they're seeing that America and their European allies are backing this genocide. So they're like, listen, something got to be done. Like, we can't just allow this thing to continue. Like, they done took out the Iranian president, so hey, we got to look out for what Iran is going to do once all the information comes out. But more than likely, that was a hit, whether it's indirect or directly. You see? But yeah, man, the hammer of the whole earth is soon to be taken down. Micah 2:1. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it, because it is in the power of their hand. And they covet fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man in his house, even a man in his heritage. And he's really done this. The workers that devise iniquity on a world scale, they've really done this hardcore to the Israelites, but really they've done it to all nations. They doing the same thing in the land of Israel right now to them Palestinians, coveting fields, taking them by violence, houses, taking them away, oppressing the man in his heritage. All these things that these devils have done to all the nations, but mainly the Israelites. This is why the judgment prescribed for Esau is what it is, because he's really done things that are not forgivable. And Esau knows what he's doing. All right. He sees that his power is slipping away. So naturally, when you see that your power is slipping away, and that you're not the big bad wolf on the block no more, well, you got to go all out to try and try to remind these nations that you the top dog, but you ain't the top dog no more. See, you getting old, you getting frail. All right. And guess what? A new, younger, stronger dog is rising up against your ass, and he cursing you out. This is what these devils have a problem with, and they can't take. All right. They see Yasha Allah coming up, and they see that their own rulership and wisdom is failing them. So yeah, they are going against these other nations right now, but make no doubt about it, they about to start coming for you Jakes, man. All right. They about to start coming for you Jakes hardcore again, like how they did back in the early 1900s, the 1960s and all of that. That's coming back big time. Because once Esau sees that his society is at a point to where there's no return, he gonna blame you Israelites, just like he's always done. That's why he's called the accuser of the brethren, man. That's what Esau is. He's the accuser. He's the false accuser. So we gotta prepare ourselves for what's coming. If these world leaders ain't safe from the advances of Esau Edom, this is even more of a reason to get close to Yahweh Shem Shai in these times, man, that we can have that hedge of protection against what the devil is going to bring. So I'm going to end it right here. Lord willing, this lesson was edifying through the Rakah Kadash. Until next time, shalom to the elect.